It's happening. I'm not muted anymore. It's happening. I know what I'm doing. Hi, people of Twitch land. How's it going? Lovely to see you once again. If you're new around here, I'm Abbers. I play video games sometimes. Sometimes I interview other streamers for a podcast called Why We Go Live, and that is what we're doing here today. Dark Wolf, it's good to see you. Anyone else who's out there, thanks for being here today. We have a lovely and wonderful guest, our second VTuber ever. I always get very excited about interviewing VTubers. So I'm gonna show you a little clip to introduce her, okay? Here we go. Maybe.
Although I do know of a spot where Curlia spawns. And I can fuck with Curlia. Yes, that is indeed me. And I said that. But I promise, it's not always like that. I am a very serious and a dedicated streamer who is very safe for work and that you should totally recommend to anyone you know. I would never say anything weird or out of context. That'd be weird. Who would ever do that? Alright, just roll the clips. I can't pretend anymore. But yeah, Nate says there's no bottom. So yeah, it's just the penguin head. I need a better bottom. I feel like bottoms are all disappointing. Do not quote me on that. Gooiness, that's not gonna save you. I love gooey! I love gooey stuff! Put some... Do I say the sentence? Oh my god, I'm so glad they didn't say what I was trying to say! I was trying to say put some gooey white stuff in my mouth, and fuck, I just said it! Fine. Female is the one without the fancy bits. I love all the balls. Oh, wait, no.
Please join me in welcoming Leaf. Leaf, how are you?
Oh my god. Hello. I'm here. It's me.
It's
Hello.
you.
How are you?
I know you said you only spent like 5 minutes on that trailer, but I think...
I spent actually more than 5 minutes because...
I was gonna say, I was like, there's no way.
I wanted to make it funny. I almost went too hard into making it. I was like... Because I still need a channel trailer actually for my channel. That was like... I'm gonna make it so good. What do you mean my channel trailer channel will be 60 seconds? This is bullshit.
I know. I felt the same way when I was making mine. I was like, it's so... Like, it took me a couple years to actually like, okay, I'm gonna do this because originally I asked my little brother to make me one, and the one that he made me is beautiful. It's like 3 minutes. And I didn't realize at the time, like I tried to upload it and Twitch was like, nope, too long. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Like, how am I supposed to convey the entire energy of my channel in 60 seconds?
It's so hard. No, I agree. And it's like, yeah, especially when you do like a variety of different things, like we'll get into it in terms of like what you stream, but like it's so hard to show all of who you are, like you said, in 60 seconds. And I think you just kind of have to find sound bites that you enjoy and be authentic to yourself. And like this idea too of like trying to be funny, like I don't really know how to be funny on purpose. Do you know what I mean? Like
Absolutely. I don't think I'm a funny person at all.
Yeah.
And then I look at chat and everyone's laughing and probably laughing at me and with me, and I'm like, what's funny? What did I say?
Yeah.
All the time.
Totally. Well, let's talk about it. We were just saying this is right about your 1 year. Is it your 1 year stream anniversary or affiliate anniversary?
stream anniversary was a couple weeks ago. Affiliate should be this month.
That's so
I am not
exciting.
sure, but like if I post in my own chat, I'll probably see the 12-month badge, and
Congratulations.
I'm still flabbergasted about it.
Yeah. That's so great. Take us back. Take us back to like a year ago, a year and a couple weeks ago when you
Yeah.
very first decided to stream. What were you
Well,
streaming?
Pokemon. It all started with Pokemon. It's still about Pokemon, but
Mm-hmm.
on my birthday on April 26th of 2022, I got my first PC. And I'd always wanted to do like content creation or something, but like doing that on phone was really hard. And so I got a PC, I got a capture card, and I booted up my Switch. I installed OBS. I was not VTubing whatsoever back then. It was just the game and my voice with a really bad microphone that I don't know how I spent so long using, but it was horrible. And that was just me shiny hunting in Pokemon. It was just me hatching eggs, walking around in circles, and hoping to get a Pokemon of a different color.
Nice. Which
And that was all
Pokemon
I
game
did.
specifically? Sorry, you might have said.
Sword and Shield. Sword and
Okay,
Shield.
Sword and Shield. Okay. Um, and so like maybe like going back like a few weeks beforehand or a few months beforehand, like what was your thought process in deciding like, okay, I wanna try this. I wanna go live.
I watch a lot of content on YouTube in general, and like more than is probably healthy for a person. Like I'm on YouTube about 12 hours a day. I spend my life consuming content. I was like, well, I could make that content because right when I consume content, to me it's something that gets me through by the day. It's something that means a lot to me, and like different content creators mean different things. And I was like, that would be cool if I could be that person. And especially in a queer world where like especially in Pokemon community and like just gaming communities in general, it's so hard to find someone that is like an actual safe place in the in the world. I was like, well, it'd be cool if that was me, you know? Like
Yeah.
I could be that place. I'm gonna make my place.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
awesome.
that's sort of why I wanted to start. Like it was a rocky start, but that's why I started. I was like, well, I'm gonna be the I'm gonna be the trans person. I'm gonna be the place. I'm gonna be the safe place.
Yeah. I love that. When you say it was a rocky start, are you referring to like having like a bad microphone and like equipment, or were there other things
Well,
about it?
I mean, I guess it depends on what you classify as. The first 6 months were rough. The
Yeah.
last 6 months have been fun, but because it's like finding your place. Just before you make your own place, you have to find a place
Yeah.
to start. You know, and so you meet people that do content, and like they help you. They give you a shout out, and like you're like, oh, cool. I meet people, but like they're not always the best people.
Mm.
Kind of realize that because when you're trying to start, you're like, oh my god, if I don't get followers, if I don't get viewers, I'll never get anywhere. So I'll suppress every morals I have, and I'll just you get those people with me. And then after a while,
Mm.
no, I don't like that.
Yeah.
And you kind of start from zero again for a minute because you cut off everyone, and you're like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah. Was that something that you struggled with the first 6 months? Was trying to kind of like appeal to everyone and gain that
Yeah, like
viewership?
when I very first started, I was super family friendly. Which
Mm.
when you see the clip that I started with is really hard to believe.
Yeah, no,
But
I
like
was gonna say that's not at all who you are. Yeah.
I was very family friendly because people were like, "Oh, but if you're not family friendly, Twitch is not gonna like you. You're gonna get like muted or whatever." And I was like, "Oh heck, well heckaroni, we're gonna speak like this." And
Hmm.
it just wasn't fun. It just wasn't me. I was like, "What am I doing?
Yeah.
This is not the content I want to make. This is not me."
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting playing Pokemon too. Like I have a friend who streamed for a little bit and she played more like games that people consider are like kids games for children, right? And I think
Hmm.
Pokemon kind of falls into that category. And so inevitably what happens is you draw kids to your stream. And so like,
Yeah.
yeah, what has your experience with that been like?
At first I was like, oh well, I was trying to be PG. I was trying to be family friendly, so I kind of let the kids join. And
Hmm.
part of me was like, well, it's hard to be a kid on the internet,
Sure.
like everyone, like it's weird because we all want the best for kids, but like not everyone wants to be the place for kids, which is
Sure.
completely fair because kids are overwhelming sometimes, incredibly
Absolutely.
so.
Yeah.
And so part of me was like, well, it's fine. I'll endure it for a bit because I know it's hard to be a kid on the internet. But
Hmm.
then after a while, I was like, I'm talking about, I'm talking about dicks and balls on stream. Like I cannot be a place for kids forever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I started marking all my streams as 18 plus and everything. And so now it's fine. But like for a while, it was just like, I don't feel comfortable knowing there are kids in my, yeah, in my,
Yeah.
well, in my chat. There we go. I was looking for the word.
Hmm.
Because like, as much as I wanted them to have a safe place to be, like I cannot provide that in good conscience.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and like you said, like you can want the best for them, but also recognize that you're not the person to create that space, right?
Hmm.
Like I think there are people on Twitch who are generally like or not generally, genuinely family friendly. That's who they are, that's their
Hmm.
personality, and so it makes sense for them to go that route. But if that's not you, it's not going to be sustainable to try to stream that way as you found out, right?
Yeah, like some kids are quote unquote more mature and they can like just not be weird if you end up having a real discussion about life.
Mhm.
But I so often have like real conversations and everything that like I didn't want to have like weird opinions, and so it was weird for a while, especially
Yeah.
when you do stream. I stream Pokemon in Minecraft and Animal Crossing so much, and it was just like,
Yeah. I streamed Animal Crossing one time and I was like, never again.
can I join your island? Can I visit your? Can you visit my island, please,
Okay, so
streamer?
here's the thing. I'm so sad about it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna stream Animal Crossing. I'll show everyone my island and then I'll destroy it and start over. So I destroyed it and started over, and now I'm like kicking myself because I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. I should have just kept the same island because I've had like no motivation to play since then. So sure, you
Yeah.
can visit my island. There is nothing there because I haven't played at all. But I will. It's one of those games that like there will be a moment where I just like need like a zen fun weekend and I'll like go hard. But it's a tough one to stream because at least for
It's
me,
hard to be
like
zen.
it's hard to be zen. Um, for me too, it's not like I'm gonna sit there and play for like 6 hours straight. I'm not into like time
Hmm.
traveling personally. Um, and for streaming, generally people want to stream somewhere, I think between like 4 and 6 hours. It seems like to me that's like the average. So like, yeah, that was just a tough one for me. And it brought in a lot of kids that very much were like, oh, can I visit your island? Oh, can I bring you these fruits? Oh, can I da 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 da? Which they're well meaning, but also there's this part of me that's like, leave me alone. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like
Like,
that was the part that was really hard because like they're not trying to be like I've had mean people in my chat,
mm,
and these people weren't trying to be mean. They were
right.
just overwhelming.
Yes.
And like I'm not saying adults cannot be overwhelming, but there's this thing about kids on the internet that like there's no boundaries, there's no limits. It's just
Totally.
like, hey, you give me all your attention, make me feel seen. I want to be seen, and you are the streamer today
Mm-hmm.
that I want to see me. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I can barely see myself. I'm not gonna see you.
Totally. No, you described it so well. That's yeah. Yeah, and I'm very much an 18 and up streamer. I'm very much not family
Mhm.
friendly. So it's one of those where it's like, yeah, no, this isn't gonna work, you know?
I, re- I really tried, but like I just keep saying these things out of context, and like I don't realize it first, and then people point it out. I'm like, oh, I
Yeah.
just said the worst thing ever. Oh my god, I'm the worst.
Well, it's fun to joke about it when that kind of stuff happens too.
Oh
You
no,
don't
it's
want to
it's,
like
it's really
ignore
fun.
it. Yeah.
Like I'm really oblivious, so sometimes it's just like, oh, yeah, no, that is funny.
Yeah,
Why did I
totally.
say that?
Totally. When I first met you, you were Cthulhu Stole My Hat, and now you're
Yes.
Leaf. Can you talk about the story behind your screen names and why you decided to switch?
So I needed an online name a while ago because I used to just go by anime names, and that's a little cringe and like cultural appropriation and everything.
Mm,
So like I was like, that I don't want to just go with the anime name on the internet.
sure.
And so I was reading Lovecraft stories, and I
Mm.
was like, huh, I just lost a hat. Well, Cthulhu stole it. There we go. That's my online name. That is really funny. That is clever.
Yeah.
And at first, I spelled it with a C and then with a K because someone pointed it out that I misspelled it. I was like, well, fuck you. I'm going to misspell it even further.
I've seen it spelled both ways to just to put it out there, but yeah,
Yeah, and someone would just DM to me randomly, rudely, like, "You misspelled it." I was like, "All right, well, it's a with a K now,"
sure.
and like, it didn't mean anything. It was just a funny name, and like, it was memorable. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like you raid people, you meet people, and they're like, "Cthulhu stole my hat." That's so funny, and I was like, "I know, right?"
Yeah.
Right? Like that was it. It was just a funny name. It wasn't me, and it was really hard to spell.
Yeah.
So like accessibility wise, it was really annoying because the amount of people that told me that like I wanted to raid you, but I couldn't figure out how to spell your name. So
Ah, yeah.
I'm like, oh, Echo, shut up. Sorry.
You're
And
good.
like, I was like, that is very fair.
Mm-hmm.
So and okay, I also got cultists in my chat at some point, just coming in with like copy blood rituals, copy pastas. I was like, oh,
Oh, interesting. Okay.
oh, okay, no, I
Purely
don't want
based
that
on the name
anymore.
then, right?
Yeah, I was like, I don't want that anymore. And
Mm-hmm.
so I went through a couple names. I was like, maybe I'll relate it to being queer, to Pokemon. But then I saw that Leaf VT was just available, and my real name is Leaf.
Yeah.
It's my real name. Like, that's it. I was like, well, perfect. Then I can just be Leaf. That's
Great.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, just Leaf was not available because it's a
Mm.
pretty, well, it's not common, but it's a simple name. And so I was like, well, Leaf VT. There's nothing easier to find. It's me. That's my name,
Yeah.
and it does not bound me to anything.
Totally.
Just like Cthulhu Stole My Hat made people think that I would stream more horror games or like that I knew anything about Lovecraft. And like I just read a couple of stories and I thought the name was funny. I'm sorry, I'm not really deep into Cthulhu lores. I just thought the name was funny.
Yeah.
And so now
Yeah.
I'm just me. Like it doesn't mean anything. I don't have to be a Pokemon streamer. I can do whatever I want at any time because that's in my name. It's just
Yeah. Because the only thing that it ties you to is VT, like knowing that you're a VTuber.
yeah, and like that's fine with me because
Yeah.
that I don't want to show my face on the internet. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I do show it. Like I'll post a selfie once in a while, but that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah. What is that? What the difference for you between like streaming with your camera versus streaming with a VTuber model?
With a VTuber model, it doesn't matter if I'm having a terrible day or not.
Mm.
Like mental health is like for me, my mental health like leaves me a mess.
Mm-hmm.
Like physically so often, like self-care is really hard and like I have so many cans of everything laying around my desk and like I don't have to make it so that everything is clean all the time.
Mm, yeah.
I log in, I choose the model I want to use today, and that is it. It doesn't matter that my hair is not brushed. It doesn't matter that I haven't shaved today. I don't have to wear makeup. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's me. I have my cat ears. I have orange hair. Perfect.
Yeah. No, that's great. Um, has your VTuber model always been the same? Has it evolved? Like,
I used to have a Cthulhu model,
okay.
but it that we talked about this before doing live, but this studio that I used to have this model drained my computer so much, like 40% usage sometimes. It was impossible to play anything.
Yeah.
So I stopped using it, and I found out that you could just like have free assets. Just this VTuber model that you see, I made it myself completely for free, and without really much effort. Like I just had to choose my hairstyle and whatever.
Yeah.
And so, like, I changed the hairstyle and the outfits, but other than that, ever since I switched to a human model, it's been pretty much the same.
Interesting.
Always, I need to always have orange hair. Just like, I have an obsession with orange hair. I don't know
Okay.
why,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Well, that's fun too that you can like update your hairstyle or change your outfit or whatever depending on your mood.
Yeah, like, I have a bunch of different models because I'm always having an identity crisis. And I'm like, you know what, maybe today I want to have short purple hair.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But it's nice. It allows you to be fluid, like that's kind of, I think there's
Yeah, well,
something nice about that.
just like with gender. Like, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I can change it, like, right now, I think. Like,
Ooh.
Like sometimes I'm like, you know what?
Oh my God, the
We'll go
little
with
like
this.
heart at the top is so cute with the
Yes,
hair.
yes, it's very cute. And sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'll go with short blue hair. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's
I
fun too.
I can do whatever I want, and my community is pretty much used to it at this point, so I
Mm-hmm.
don't really have to worry about it. Like if I show up tomorrow with like if I show up with a bald model tomorrow, my community would just be like, oh well, okay, it
Right.
happens.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and you've talked about the importance of creating a queer space and something that's friendly for queer people. Like, what kind of people tend to find your streams?
It is often queer people.
Hmm.
Just like I have my pronouns and I have my flags on my overlays when I stream. And I mean I do get the very straight people sometimes, but it's fine. They're like, what's your pronouns? I can't tell because of your voice. I'm just like, it's literally right here on the stream. Please, for
Hmm.
the love of God, just but I
Yeah.
do get a lot of queer people. Like all of my mods are pretty much all trans or gender non-conforming. Like I'm looking at my Discord server right now, and like I don't think there's anyone straight.
Yeah.
Like it's just really fun to have a bunch of other trans friends or just queer people, and that we can vent about how much everything sucks sometimes, and
Yeah.
people understand, you know.
Totally.
Like, and so that's what led me to wanting my place, because I used to be in a lot of streams where like they would call themselves a safe space. Then you were like, oh my god, this thing happened, and it really such a we don't talk about that here. It's a safe space. I'm like, well, I don't feel safe if I cannot talk about it.
Right. I have such an issue with the safe space tag. I hate it. And I think it's so silly. No shade to anyone that uses it. I think it's so silly for us to assume that we know what makes other people feel safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a lot of people use them to mean it's a safe space for themselves and themselves only. Which
That's
fair.
interesting.
That's your space. That's super valid. But like I think specifically it was when the Roe v. Wade thing happened in the US, someone in chat came in and was like, my mom went to protest today for my right to have an abortion. And I was like, that's really cool for your mom. But the streamer was just like, we don't talk about that here. This is a safe space.
Yeah. Well,
And I
that's
was
a,
like, exactly. Like I
right.
want to talk about it. I want to like I don't want to vent about it because it's your stream.
Yeah.
But like if I cannot be safe to talk about the issues affecting me as a person, then is it really a safe space?
Totally. Yeah. Well, and that's my whole thing is like I want to create a safe space for queer folks and for marginalized people just in general, right? And so
Hmm.
I'm gonna do whatever I can to do that. But it's not up to me to decide what makes you feel safe. You get to decide
Yeah.
what makes you feel safe, right? So like I just think that tag is total nonsense. I just like I like it's and I value safe spaces so much, but you don't get to tell me that it's a safe space. Does that make sense? It just
Yeah.
really
Like
bothers me.
you can't call yourself a safe space. Like it's like being an ally. You don't get to call yourself an ally. You are or you're not. Like
Yeah.
you can say, "Oh, I'm an ally." Okay, what do you do? Well, I don't hate gay people. You're not an ally. You're just a bystander.
Thank you for your service. Like what? Like I don't understand. Yeah. That's so
Yeah.
funny. Um,
So that's the kind of place I want to have. It's like, hey, like we all hate Elon Musk right now. Vent about it in my chat. Talk to dunk on him in my server. Like that's that kind of safe space. It's like
right.
talk about what pisses you off.
Yeah.
Like come on in. Like I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
Come and talk about it.
Well, and where is the line for you with that in terms of like having a safe space to talk about things that are upsetting us or things we're going through, and then kind of trauma dumping and things that maybe are triggering or like, where is the boundary for you, I guess?
Sorry, hiccups. Give me a second.
You're good.
Well, I'm not good at like establishing boundaries in general, but I'm usually just like I've been through so much in my life that almost nothing phases me. Like if you talk about the worst that's happened to you, I won't really get triggered about my own things that's happened. I'm really empathetic, so I'll just feel with you, and I want to listen to you.
Yeah.
So like I have a venting space in my Discord for anyone to vent at any time. Like when we're streaming, I think everyone in general just has this kind of idea that do not trauma dump in chat, which is fine. And so like, but I don't mind. Like, if you have a bad day and you want to tell me you had a bad day and that you're here to have a better day, I welcome it. Tell
Yeah.
me, and I'll talk to you. Like, I've had so many people just come in and be like, "Yeah, no, today's not a good day." I'm like, "All right, well, let me pause this game, or just let me give you attention for a second."
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't mind if it's regulars, especially if someone new comes in out of nowhere and it's like, "Oh, my day's terrible." I'm like, "Well, hello, nice to meet you too."
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's a little weird.
Yeah. There's this interesting thing I think that I am excited to explore more as I talk to people like you. Like when we talk about like internet etiquette and like Twitch etiquette and the Twitch culture, like things like that I find so fascinating when people like immediately come into your chat, don't even say hi and just like drop this thing where you're just like, okay,
Yeah.
hello, how are you? It's like it's interesting because like there are certain things that like I just don't know how to handle. How what what do you do in moments like that?
Yeah, like super impromptu. It's so weird. Like, it
Uh-huh.
doesn't happen too often to me because I stream at weird hours where no one is up. So I get lucky, I suppose.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. It always happens to my friends. So I don't really have experience with anyone coming unprompted.
Mm-hmm.
But I usually just start my stream and I'm like, "Are you okay? Are you
Yeah.
good?" And
Yeah.
I kind of let people in chat just decide what they want to do about it.
Mm.
'Cause, well, not in a mean way, is it? Obviously, but like, I think the worst that's happened is sometimes someone came in the other day was like, "I can't tell if you're a boy or a girl because of your voice." I was like, "All right, chat, what do we do about this?"
Let chat take care of it. I like
Like that.
that.
That's about it.
Yeah. I like that a
Like,
lot. I should do that more.
yeah, and like, sometimes it's just funny to see what your community and your friends decide to do about it. You know?
Yeah, that's interesting. That's a really good point. Well, I think we forget too sometimes, like I get concerned with like I want to make sure that it's a like we're talking about safe spaces, so I want to make sure that like if people do bring in things that like are potentially triggering, that we talk about it in a way that like how do we talk about these in a way that like respects and honors where everyone's at, right? And I
Hmm.
think I tend to forget that like chat can advocate for themselves. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't need to like I feel like I need to be the mom of my stream, and in some ways I think
Hmm.
I am, but like I think you make a really good point. It's like, no, chat can handle it. Let's let chat
Yeah.
decide, you
Like,
know?
when people come in my chat and are transphobic, sometimes I snap back. Like,
Hmm.
I won't start crying and be like, "Oh," like, I'll just not get upset, but like, I won't give them what they want. You know, I won't start
Mm,
crying on stream or whatever. And sometimes I just look at chat, and chat has said everything I wanted to say. I'm like, cool, thanks, chat.
yeah.
Let's ban this person together now. You know?
It's a group activity.
Yeah, and like, I'll snap back sometimes, and it's really cool. But yeah,
Yeah,
I have a cool community for that.
that's awesome. Well, and how do you determine when someone is when you need to ban someone versus maybe when it's like an opportunity to like talk to them and get to know them more? Where's that line for you?
I don't ban people often.
Okay.
Like, like, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I don't stream often enough these days, but just, I don't really like, except if it's a first time chatter with bullshit, that's an easy ban. I don't need to talk about it. I don't need to discuss it.
Yeah.
Like, the only person I banned recently was just because like at least four people DM'd me saying they were uncomfortable. I was like, all right, well, that's enough.
Yeah.
Four people out of 400 is enough for you to be banned. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Well, and for me, it's something that like I keep having to remind myself. I'm like, it's one person. Like if it makes me uncomfortable, that's a worthy enough, decision to ban
Mhm.
someone too. But I'm pretty banhammer happy, honestly. Like I
I've never, like, that's an issue in of itself,
Hmm.
but I've always been a easy person. Like, I will cut you off at the drop of a hat.
Mm-hmm.
I am so easy to cut off people.
Yeah.
Like, I like I talked about Elon Musk earlier, but like this, or oh no, I think the worst was when Hogwarts Legacy came out, and like the second I saw people talk about it, I was like, oh well, it's not that bad. I was like, you're gone. You're not in my chat anymore. You're not in my server. You're not in my community. You're gone.
Yeah.
Just just straight up. Like, it. I am so easy on the ban hammer. Like, yes, it's a safe space for me, so I come first and foremost.
Yeah.
If you don't make me feel safe, you're gone.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
if I'm on the fence of something, I'll see what my community thinks about. Like, if they are uncomfortable, I'll ban someone.
Yeah.
If I'm like, it could be worse, I'll just leave them be until they say something weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's totally fair. Yeah, it was interesting with Hogwarts Legacy when that came out. I think that like it was such a divisive moment in streaming, I think, for a lot of us, especially for
Hmm.
queer folks. Because it was kind of one of those things that at least it showed me like people, it's one thing if you play the game. It's another thing entirely if you stream it to me.
Yeah, like
Um yeah, go ahead.
streaming it is just giving it a platform and
Hmm.
is telling people that you don't care.
Yeah.
And like that, it's an old a whole other reason why I just don't really stream Pokemon these days, is because, like, especially shiny hunting, actually, because like one of the biggest person in the Twitch shiny hunting community was really hard on defending Hogwarts Legacy, and now it's
Mm,
completely fine. And that person is friends with a lot of people I used to be friends with, and I was like, well, all right,
it's
we're done with
hard.
Pokemon. I don't want to do Pokemon anymore. No.
Yeah. That's hard. Have you
Yeah,
stopped streaming Pokemon
I
then?
I stream some Pokemon. Like, I started just doing other Pokemon stuff, but I don't stream shiny hunting anymore
Okay. Yeah.
because because these people know that I've blocked them, and like I know that they've talked about me blocking them because I like to put my nose into things.
Mm,
And so, like, I'm like, oh, I don't want to risk having to talk about these people and interacting with these people.
mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
kind of stopped streaming Pokemon because of that, which it's kind of hard in a way, because it's like, well, I do want to play Pokemon. I do want to do some shiny hunting. I don't want to stream it. Like, that, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's valid. I think that's totally valid. And I think it's valid if you come to a point in the future where you do want to stream it again. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I think you have to go off of what feels good for you in the moment and also acknowledge and be okay with the fact that that changes from day to day, you know?
Yeah, like, it's just it's hard just because you don't want to interact with the community anymore. So it's like, well,
That's
but
hard.
that's where making your own community is really fun, because, well, at some point you're like, well, I don't interact with the larger community. I interact with mine. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's why I'm glad that I built my own community of people from a bit of everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
because that way it's easier to just let others go.
Yeah.
You know,
That's fair. How do you go about building your own community? What has that experience been like for you?
it's they've built themselves. Like,
Mm,
when someone joins my server, my Discord server, I'm just like, oh, cool, someone new, and people start interacting with each other. Like, I think, like, recently I think sorry, I'm having too many thoughts at once.
you're good.
Like, my favorite thing about my community is that people have started interacting with each other and supporting each other in
Mm-hmm.
their own spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just having that branch off to me is so special. Like, two of my best friends are not friends, and like, they didn't know each other, but because of me, they know each other and they're friends and they support each other. I think that's so cool,
Yeah.
and I love when that happens. Like,
Yeah.
that's something that means so much to me.
Definitely. There is something really neat about seeing people like whether it's in your Discord or like within your own chat or like even in other people's chats. It's always fun to me to
Mhm.
see people that like are like saying hi to each other and stuff, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, I see my friends going into each other's streams and
Mm-hmm.
sub to each other and like participate in each other's events. I'm just like, I made that happen. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
That is
Like,
cool.
I was the spark of something,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how I like to build my community. I like to bring people together and just build something different.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's
Like, I
interesting. Like, go ahead.
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead,
Are you
go
sure?
ahead. Yeah,
Well,
yeah, 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 yeah. I'll
I think
finish
it's
my thought.
interesting this idea of like they built themselves and it just kind of like naturally happens, but also
Mhm,
the intention you have to have to make a space where that can happen. Do you know what I mean?
mhm. Yeah.
So what are things that you do to like facilitate that?
I don't think that I do anything particular. Like, it just kind of happens. Like, I don't do anything consciously. I think
Mm.
it kind of just happens. Like we were doing a Pokemon event or something, and my friend needed one more person. And I was like, well, I'll ask my friend. And like, I didn't have any thoughts behind it. I was just like, well, maybe they'll say yes. Maybe they won't. I don't know. I
Yeah.
just said yes. And now they're friends and they do their own things. And that's cool.
That is cool. Yeah, I love that. Well, maybe that's all
Like,
it is like seeing opportunities to connect people and then connecting them, like you
yeah,
said.
like I was in a friend's stream the other day, and in chat I saw someone that I knew, and I was like, "Y'all know each other?" And like, yeah, I found them via Discord. I was like, "Oh, I
Hmm.
didn't do anything, but that's so cool."
Yeah. It is
Like, I don't
interesting
know.
to me. Like, Twitch is so oversaturated, and yet it's such a small world. You know what I mean?
It is such an incredibly small world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like I follow so many people, but they all know each other.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it it's terrifying. It's fun, but it's terrifying.
What is
If
terrifying about it?
if you have a fallout with one of these person, the domino effect can be so rough. Like that's what happened
Mm,
with the shiny hunting community. The domino effect was horrible.
yeah.
It was terrifying. It was like now that I don't want to talk to this person is also, like the domino effect is terrifying.
That's hard. That's hard. When it goes back to what you're talking about of kind of living out your morals on stream, I think, and like
Yeah.
being authentically who you are, like that can cause a detriment to your numbers, I think, sometimes. And that's
Mhm.
just a very like real part of it, you know?
Yeah, like it's been hard ever since I decided to just be myself and do things the way I want to do them. Like
Hmm.
I've definitely noticed a dip in people in viewership and everything, but like it's tough because
Yeah.
oh, don't look at the numbers. Okay, but like they're there. Twitch emails me after every fucking stream, and I'm like,
Yes.
hey, you had 2 viewers today. I'm like, thanks, Twitch. I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate that so much.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for saying that because it's like it's so easy to be like, yeah, ignore your numbers, like just like be yourself, blah blah, which I do think is really good advice. But also I think it's important to acknowledge, like I talk to friends of mine about this all the time, is like Twitch success, if like in terms of like
Hmm.
who Twitch lifts up and to be a successful streamer, which we'll get into what that means in a minute, but like it very much is dependent on your numbers. Just realistically, that's how
Yeah.
the game works. The game of Twitch is based on numbers so much. What is your relationship now with the algorithm and with numbers?
I I I have all the numbers disabled when I stream,
Mm-hmm.
but like it's not even it's not even just about the numbers sometimes because when Pokemon Scarlet and Violet released, I did a 24-hour stream. I played it for 24 hours and I was so excited. It was a new Pokemon game.
Yeah.
I love Pokemon with all my heart.
Yeah.
And I was so excited to share the love with new people. No one chatted for 6 hours.
Mm.
No one did chat for 6 hours. And like I don't care. Like friends lurk. I love them. I love lurkers. I adore my lurkers. Bless them. But like, I don't care that I had 5 viewers at some point. No one chatted for 6 hours. That's
Mm.
depressing. Like,
Yeah.
at some when do you stop talking to no one? You know, just like
Great
for a
question.
while. Just like for a while, yeah, sure. You're like, hey, chat. I hope you like that. Hey.
Mm-hmm.
After 6 hours, like when do you give up? You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, when do you just go silent until someone shows up?
I'm fascinated by people, the overwhelming majority of people on Twitch statistically. I feel like I say this every episode, but I think it's so important like to drive home. The overwhelming majority of people on Twitch are streaming to no one.
Mhm.
And so I'm so curious for people that don't have folks in their chat and it can be one person, it can be a million people, I don't care, but like if you're streaming and there's no one in your chat,
Oh,
what drives you to come back, and like how much does having people in your chat kind of impact your experience or not, you know what I mean? And so it
yeah.
sounds like for you the interaction with chat is a really big part of it, is that right?
Yeah, because when I go live, it's like most of the time it's because I want to play this game, I want to have fun, and
Mm-hmm.
I want to have a recording of it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be fun. But like my chat is mostly friends at this point.
Yeah.
Like, and not in a parasocial way. Like they're all people I DM with, and that I interact with on a daily basis, and they're all friends. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
So, like, when I go live, well, it's a way for me of just. Okay, it's kind of weird in a way because every time stream ends, I'm like, this would have been a Discord call with friends.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, but that's fine too. Because I got
Yeah.
like 2 cents in ad revenue.
Yeah. I mean, what is other than the 2 cents in ad revenue, which I love that. I love that. That's great. But what is the difference between streaming versus having a Discord call with your friends?
That's what I'm trying to figure out right now still.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm at that point where sometimes I'm like, this could have just been a Discord call. It's the work. It's the equivalent of this could have been an email.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the same equivalent. Like, this could have been an email. But like, I don't know. Maybe I'll meet someone new today, and
Sure.
I meet someone new every day. And like, even if it's depressing, sometimes I just meet someone new and they say hi for a couple of messages, and I think that's cool. I
Yeah.
said hi. I met someone new. That's kind of why I started streaming too, because I wanted to get out of my bubble a little bit. I was
Yeah.
pretty. I was not antisocial, but I was awkward,
Mm-hmm.
And like, what's the best way of meeting new people than just putting yourself out there and letting people come to you?
Definitely.
I
Yeah.
don't have to make the first step. I technically do make the first step in the go live button, but I don't have to make the first step. If someone
Yeah.
wants to meet me, they'll lurk for a second and then say hi.
Mm-hmm.
And if they
Mm-hmm.
don't want to meet me, they'll go away and I won't even know they were there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's wonderful.
Oh, I think this idea of social interaction not even a component, but like as a motivating factor for streaming is so true. Like it's something that's very relatable, I think, for a lot of people is like getting yourself out of your bubble. Also, I think when you're the one streaming, you're able to kind of control that bubble a little bit too, you know?
Yeah.
So there's something about that that I think is very like intriguing for a lot of us.
Yeah. Like, it's my space. I do what I want. If I don't feel comfortable socializing with you, I don't have to.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
totally.
like, I'm not stuck here. It's not like going at the bar and someone comes to talk to you and now you feel awkward and you can't leave. You know?
Right. That's so true. When I think like since quarantine, like for me, like basically I don't really want to leave my house unless I have to at this point in time.
Yeah.
Which I don't even know. I think I was a little bit of a homebody before quarantine, but it like really drove home to me like how exhausting like social interaction can be. And so there's something, don't get me wrong, I think streaming can be exhausting with regard to social interaction
Mhm.
too, but it's a little bit more contained, you know?
Yeah. Like, sometimes I ask my Discord, like, are y'all fine if I just go live in silence for like an hour? Because I want to socialize, but I don't want to socialize.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Like, it's
interesting.
it's really exhausting because sometimes you're like, oh, I need to go live. I haven't been live in 5 days, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to socialize. I don't want to interact with people. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you feel that pressure and anxiety around streaming ever?
Yeah, kind of. I have a terrible sleep schedule. Like, I went to bed yesterday at like 6 p.m., woke up at 2, went back to bed at 6, woke up at 10 today. Like, my sleep is all over the place. So having a stream schedule is literally impossible.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so sometimes I'll just miss like 5 days because I didn't see time go by and my sleep was all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, well, I should stream soon because what? People don't expect anything from me,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. Where does that
Like,
should come from?
yeah, like, I put it on myself. Like,
Mm.
we talked about it a little bit before, but it's like the part of the hustle where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I need to be professional. Why do I need to be professional, actually?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't have any sponsors. I don't owe anything to anyone. Like, why do I need to go live? I don't
Mm.
need to.
That's my question for you. No, I mean, it
I
is a really good question. I think that like because there's this line with Twitch between this is my hobby and this is my hustle. And I think that it can be a little bit of both, but it does feel very like binary of like either this
yeah.
is something you're doing just for fun or you're trying to like make a living off of this or be successful within this realm, whatever that looks like. And so like it's tricky, man. It's tricky, like having hobbies just for the love and joy of it, and then having hobbies that you can monetize and like what that looks like, you know?
I do it as a hobby, and if anything happens, something happens, and that's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like being on Twitch and on the internet in general has allowed me to meet really cool people, and like it's allowed me opportunities that I could have never dreamed of before.
Yeah.
Like I had an opportunity to start doing some freelance for a content creator that I really love the other day, and I was just like, how did I get here? I
Mm-hmm.
was just streaming some shitty Pokemon for fun for a while, and now I like that's really cool. And like I'm disabled. I don't work. I can't work. So like I'm on welfare, which is it's money and like a do the groceries and then fuck off for the rest of the month.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's very
that's why I
much the
love.
bare minimum, right?
Yeah, so that's sort of why I started streaming too, because I wanted some spending income,
Yeah.
and like I don't care if it's $50 a month. $50 a month is a snack, is a dinner. It's something.
Yeah. It's a video game, like, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I would not be able to afford Tears of the Kingdom that comes out next week if
Mm-hmm.
not for Twitch.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
And
a really
so
good point.
that's really cool for me. Like I know that if like when Pokemon Scarlet and Violet were coming out, I did not have the money to afford them whatsoever.
Mm.
So I put out a sub goal. And I was like, all right, well, here's the sub goal for one of the two because they're releasing two games. I got enough money to buy both games. I was like, y'all are so cool. And
Yeah.
like, so like, I go live sometimes, and I'm like, well, I'll have probably $5 next month, and $5 means the world to me.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's very valid. That's very valid to have this as something that's like just a hobby for you and something that like helps you to socialize while also recognizing like that there is an opportunity when you go live to help benefit your life in terms of having like spending money. Like
Yeah,
that's not a small thing. Like that's really important. So I get that, and
like
I can see where that would maybe cause some pressure and some, I don't know,
yeah,
conflict maybe.
because sometimes it's hard because you'll go live and like there's no telling when someone will sub or give some bits or there's no
Mm-hmm.
telling. I
Mm-hmm.
do not control the people, and it's
Mm-hmm.
never a necessity. Like my community knows that. Every time someone gives us out, I'm like, "What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? Don't do that." So my community knows, and but like sometimes you'll go live for 8 hours,
Mm-hmm.
and you didn't make a single cent out of it,
Mm-hmm.
and like that stuff. It's hard to find a line of why and how I want to stream because I do it
Yeah.
because it's fun. But God, I need some money.
Right. And that's valid. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that like we're often kind of, I don't know. Like I said, there's kind of this like binary opposition where either this can be a for fun thing or this can be a monetized thing. And I do think there's middle ground, but it's hard because we live in a society and in a world that says no, you either hustle or this is something that's not legitimate that we don't take
Yeah.
seriously. You know what I
Oh
mean?
my. Every time I talk about Twitch to like the outside world, they're like, "Well, first, I'm like, what the fuck is Twitch?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Second, the one person that maybe knows what Twitch is like, "Oh, are you ninja? Are you like ninja?" And I'm like, "God, girl, I wish."
Amazing. I love that. Oh, it's
And so
so
like, oh
true.
yeah, I play video games on the internet. Oh, how much do you make? Uh, $50 every 2 months.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing? I don't know, man.
Well, because
I'm having
when in
fun.
the times where you're not making money, I would hope that it's still fun in some way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
like I'm having so much fun, but it's so weird when you go back to the outside world and try to explain to people you stream on
yes,
Twitch. I
yes.
went to a queer event and like that was my first event in a while because the panini happened and everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I started talking to these two people, and like they're very cool. I am enjoying this talk. The talk about like professional life comes in. Like they are in the content, and the other is like a nurse or something. I'm like, wow, y'all are doing such cool shit with your life. Okay, what do you do? I play Pokemon online. like, like it's so hard to not diminish that
Yeah.
because like it is exhausting. It is a lot of work, but it's not really seen as. viable by so many people,
Yeah.
and so many people don't understand it. So it's like I don't want to like date people and be like, oh, you're a lawyer. Well, I wouldn't date a lawyer, but like like you're a lawyer. I'm a Twitch streamer.
Yeah.
Still want
Yeah.
to go on a date? No, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I so often find it easier. There's a very specific percentage of people in my real life that I actually talk to about Twitch.
Mhm.
Any other time, I'll just say, "Oh, I play a lot of video games." Like that's it just
Yeah.
feels easier to like describe it in that way rather than like with Twitch. Because you're right, I think people delegitimize it, and that feels bad. You know.
Mhm.
Um,
Like you could say, "Oh, I'm self-employed," but that's sketchy.
well, because then they want to know more. That if you just say I play video games, they're like cool, and then they just like move on. You know what
I
I
do
mean?
content on the internet. Oh, OnlyFans? I'm like, no. Like, people automatically assume OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Which is completely valid, it's completely fair, but no.
Yeah. This idea, the label of content creation has so much weight to it. There's so much like implications of like what that means to different people. How for yourself, how do you define content creation?
Like, see, that's where I don't. Like, I call myself a content creator because I go live on Twitch and I play video games, and sometimes there's content.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I don't clip anything to post on TikTok or YouTube. I don't do this extra uh, effort to, like, really put out content out there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to call myself a content creator because I don't really create anything. Because I just boot up a video game and I play it, and that's it. Like, the creativity comes like all with each stream, and it's like, oh well, I can just be funny with my words. The
Yeah.
creativity comes with my words,
Sure.
but I don't create anything per se, except just a vibe.
Okay. All right. I like that. Is there a difference to you then between being a streamer and being a content creator, or are they just words?
They're just words. Like, there's a difference, but I think there's words.
Yeah.
Just like I'm a streamer is easy because it's like, yeah, I boot up a game, I start playing it, we're having fun.
Mm-hmm.
And like like every time I see like tips for content creators out there, it's like, okay, so you need to learn the algorithm of YouTube and TikTok and when to post and how to post and which tags to use. I'm like, dude, I just want to play Pokemon.
Yeah.
I just want to play Minecraft. I just want to vibe.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah, it's fascinating. Like the different, like, because you always hear that. It's like the SEO. What is that? Like your search engine optimization and
Oh my
and then
God.
also like be consistent with your schedule with I think for disabled folks, like that's like cool. Yeah, good luck. You know.
Oh yeah, no man, I'm gonna try.
Right? Yeah. So it's a lot of that advice is like,
I'm
thanks.
scheduled to not be in pain at 2 p.m. today. Gotcha.
Right. Like what is that? Well, and kind of going back to what we're talking about, there's such a like capitalist expectation of like, I've talked about this with another person on the podcast, but like this idea of like, what do you do? Really, it's like, how do you make your money? And that's like how we determine why or how a person is valuable in society. You know what I mean? And so like that gets really, it just gets so like blurry and like hard when we're talking about like Twitch and algorithms and all that, you know?
Yeah, like the way I go at it is that if I get famous, if I start making a lot of money, it'll be by pure luck, and or it'll be just because I'm being. Because
Yeah.
like I haven't really done anything special to put myself out there, and I still have 450 followers in a year, which is good for a small streamer that doesn't put themselves out there. Like, it's pretty good.
But I mean, you know, I'll push back on that just a little bit because I think you should give yourself more credit. Because first of all, anyone that like takes the time to download OBS and learn how to use it and then go live, that's a lot of like work, honestly.
Yeah, well,
Then your VTuber model on top of that, I don't think people realize like there's a lot of work that goes into like creating your model and actually like making sure the software works within OBS, right? And then for you to put yourself out there as a queer streamer, as a disabled person, like that also is like that's a lot. You're doing a lot, is what I'm trying to say, you know?
Yeah, like when you get used to it, it doesn't feel like a lot.
Sure.
Like, I remember my friend the other day wanted to ask me a question about OBS. I was like, how do I do this? I was like, man, I've been doing this for so long. I don't know anymore. It's
Yeah.
all autopilot. I can't help you. I'm sorry.
Yeah. 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 Definitely. We already kind of talked about this a little bit, but I'm curious, like, what is the line between your personal self and your stream persona?
I I feel like it's really prominent, especially in the VTuber community, where like half VTubers have an online persona, they are a character, and they commit to the bit.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot do that. I just wanna, I'm me. Whenever I stream, I am myself. Like you can come on my stream and then DM me, and I'll be the exact same person.
Okay.
Like I am chaotic, unhinged. I don't have time to be a persona. Like
Yeah.
there is no inches anywhere. Like, and I think that's cool. I like to be authentic
Yeah.
because I think I'm pretty cool. Like
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty fun. Like the energy I bring is unique in a way, and I like the chaos. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I wouldn't really be able to provide anything if I didn't have that chaos.
Sure. And that's how you are in your personal life and your life off
Yeah,
stream too. Yeah.
like when I'm on stream, I'll talk about my personal life, and I'll just yeah, I mean, I keep some stuff, quote
Mm-hmm.
unquote, secret. Just like you don't want to dodge yourself, or you don't want to say too
Of
much.
course. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like but I don't know. I don't really have a different persona for
Mm-hmm.
being on stream or in my real life. Like if I'm in a Discord call or on stream, I'll be the same person.
Yeah. Oh,
I
that
think
makes
that's really I,
sense.
I think that's really cool for me because it's less pressure. I don't have to pretend.
Yeah.
Like when I was talking about how I tried to be PG and safe for work when I first started, that was so much pressure. Do you know
Yeah.
how hard it is not to say fuck for 8 hours?
Yeah, I do, and fuck that, honestly. Like I can't imagine. It's funny, people that have come on, they're like, "Am I allowed to cuss?" I'm like, "Yes." Like, have you seen my stream before? Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Because like I do have to censor myself during my 9 to 5, and
Yeah,
it's very intentional. Like I really have to be like, okay, I'm in work mode now, and it is for me. It's funny because it's like in my 9 to 5, I feel like I have to mask more and kind of play a role. Whereas with
Mhm.
streaming, it is much more myself. And like obviously, like we this idea of authenticity I think is fascinating because it's like I think I am authentically who I am at work, but it's a very like intentional presentation of who I am. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Mhm.
And that happens with streaming too. Like there has become over time for me a more like intentional like okay, this is how I present myself when I'm streaming, but it feels much more natural than my like typical day-to-day life in so many ways,
Yeah. Like I don't mask when I stream.
Yeah.
Like and like that's so comforting
Yes.
because I didn't realize how hard I was masking in my life before I started streaming
Mhm.
because like I'm so used that this is my quote unquote job. Like for all intents and purposes, this is my job because this is the only thing I do.
Mhm.
And so whenever I go back to the outside world and I'm like, huh, wait, I have to mask. Oh my, that
I
sucks.
know.
That's so shit. I don't like it.
I don't
So that's why I love
either.
streaming because I'm like, I'm disabled. I didn't understand your sarcasm. Please repeat. I don't want to pretend like I understood. Like,
And I
like
love that. I love that you get to do that you have the freedom to do that streaming, you
yeah,
know?
like I get to just be myself. Like, oh, I'm in
Mhm.
pain. I'm gonna complain about my pain on stream. I like it's fine.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. We've talked about kind of being queer and disabled. What are aspects of your identity and just your kind of cultural upbringing and your background that show up when you're streaming?
Huh? Like I don't know. T- t- hmm. I'm sorry. I think that there were too many big words on that. Can
That's
you can you
okay.
ask, can you
Just
answer
just
quick?
like aspects of you're totally good. No, you're fine. Aspects of your identity or maybe your background that show up when you stream.
Well, I'm trans, and I have my pride flags all the time as my overlays,
Mhm.
and that shows up all the time. Like, it is part of my humor. Like,
Mhm.
like one joke that comes up sometimes. Like we in the new Pokemon game, you can make sandwiches and pickles an ingredient in those sandwiches. And so someone's like, "Oh, do you have pickles for a sandwich?" I'm like, "Bitch, I'm trans. Of course I have pickles." Like,
I remember
like
you had to explain that to me. I was like, wait, what? And you're like, let me explain. I was like, oh. Like,
like it comes up often because it is part of me, and I'm so glad to be queer. I like being queer and trans is what has allowed me to meet some of the best people in my life.
yeah.
Like some of the best people in my life are trans, and I know them because I'm trans myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and you create this little community and network, and like I don't know, it just there's no place for not being queer in my space.
Yeah.
Like be loud, be queer, be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And like every time there's a character that like gives me gender envy, I'll stream it to the world. It just comes up all the time.
Yeah.
As far as like background, I don't know because I mean, background is a little weird because I don't have much of a background. I didn't start living until like 5 years ago. So
Can you explain more what you mean by that?
family was garbage and so many things happened. Like the TLDR is that I lived with a very abusive family until I was 21, and the pandemic happened, and I was homeless. The worst timing happened,
Yeah.
and I bounced around for a while because being homeless in the pandemic is god awful.
Yeah.
And then I got to where I am, and I finally had time to sit down and relax and think about life. And I'm
Yeah.
like, huh, shit, what? I've not been living for 20 years of my life.
Yeah.
Now I can live, and that's cool.
You get to finally
So
figure out who you are. Yeah.
yeah, so I don't think background comes up too much on stream because I'm still figuring out who I am and what I'm doing.
Yeah. That totally
So,
makes sense. Yeah.
but and that's why streaming is fun too because it's allowed me to figure out so much about myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't really care about boundaries before, but now that like any stranger can just come in and say whatever they want, I'm like, oh, maybe boundaries are cool.
Maybe that boundary idea is not a bad idea.
Yeah, no, maybe I do need a boundary or two.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Do you have any other hobbies or passions outside of streaming?
Cooking. I'm I want to go to culinary school so bad, but things happen.
Yeah.
And like I'm supposed to maybe go this summer. I don't know. It's complicated,
Yeah.
but I love cooking. Like that's the one thing I've had all my life. I've
Yeah.
always been a cook. I've always wanted to be a chef. I've been wanting to do cooking streams so bad, but like I'd have to show my face and my body, and that sucks.
Would you though? I wonder. I mean, you'd have to get really creative about it, but I wonder if there would be a way
Yeah.
for you to like do it with your VTube model and then like show the food that you make in real life or something. Like, I get what you
It
mean.
would
It'd
be
be difficult, but I think you
Yeah.
could figure it out maybe if you wanted
Yeah,
to.
it'd be complicated.
It would be
but
complicated. Yeah. Yeah.
now, like that's my biggest hobby,
Okay.
and it comes up often in streams because sometimes I talk about my weird food creations. When you're a cook, you like to try weird things, and
Mhm.
so it's really fun when it comes up. And my chat is forever not wanting to let me get near marshmallows. But
Why? What do you do with marshmallows? I'm scared to ask, but I want to know.
this one time, well, it wasn't the clip where I said I love white gooey stuff. That was about marshmallows,
Oh.
and it's because I
That's good to know.
I decided to try and put marshmallows in the grilled cheese once,
Mm.
just to have the gooiness. And I thought it was really good, but my community disagrees and thinks that's a disgrace to humanity.
They didn't like
So,
that idea. Yeah.
No,
But you liked it?
yeah, I thought it was fun. Maybe
That's
you
what's
could
most
just,
important. If you're the one
yeah.
eating it, yeah. Fuck it.
but
Why
yeah,
not?
I like cooking. Like, I love it so much.
What kind
Like,
of things do you like to cook? Is it in general kind of weird combinations like that, or are there other things you enjoy cooking?
Weird combinations are just a once in a while when you're poor.
Mhm.
You're like, all right, I need to combine something to make something.
Yep. Yep.
But I know just in general, I think the dish I make the most often is homemade pizza. Like
Okay.
learning to make your dough is so fun. My own sauce. I mean, I don't make my own cheese. Like I'm poor. Calm down.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
Like I don't know, it's fun. And
Yeah.
the reason I like cooking is just because it brings joy like when you're down, food is so good.
It's true.
And like I've been homeless, and so when you're homeless and you're hungry and you get a good ass meal, God, life is so much better.
I believe
And
it.
that's what I'm trying to do. That's why I want to go to culinary school, because my goal in life, like my goal is not to be a streamer forever. Like
Uh-huh.
I'll probably stream for a long time, but my goal is not to be Ludwig. It's not to be Ninja. I don't care about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like my goal is to open a soup kitchen,
Cool.
but like for homeless people and queer people,
I love
like
that.
maybe two, but like just that's my goal. I want a soup kitchen. I want to help people that are hungry and sad.
I love that. I love that. Well, and remind me later if you ever want to talk about it. But there's a place here where I live, where their business model is that they hire homeless people to help in the kitchen and learn how to cook and learn how to kind of run their own business, and then it's pay what you will. So it's like a
Mhm.
nonprofit. So it's really cool because it's like it helps homeless people who need experience to get jobs, get experience, and it also helps homeless people who need a meal for the day. It's just it's a
Mhm.
brilliant business model to me. Um,
Yeah, when I was in a shelter,
mhm.
I like they usually wouldn't allow people to help in the kitchen, but like I legit, I think they told me I was the first person to get in the kitchen to help, and I was like, yeah, because I want to do it. I
Yeah,
want to. I want to like on Sundays they didn't have a cook, so we all ate toast and cereals for breakfast, and I was
yeah,
like, that's boring. I'm gonna make pancakes for everyone. Fuck you.
yeah. I love that. Yeah, that's a great goal. I think that
Like,
would
do
be
you
so
know the
cool.
joy on people's face that haven't had a good meal in a while to eat pancakes on a Sunday?
Hmm.
That was so cool.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. Twitch chat in just a minute here. If you have any questions for Leaf, type them into chat and we'll get to those
Oh my
in
god.
just a minute. Oh my God. But yeah, do it. We want to hear from you if you've got any questions.
Oh my
Um,
god.
in the meantime, you mentioned that your affiliate anniversary is coming up in the next month or so.
Mm-hmm.
What was that
Yeah.
experience like getting to affiliate?
Oh, it was so tough because, like, I didn't have friends that were into streaming. I just started doing this out of the blue.
Mm-hmm.
But I was in a Discord server for sports.
Mm-hmm.
But Viri, which was on the channel before, and Viri, joined that server. And I noticed she was a streamer. And so we like the same hockey team, so we just started talking.
Oh, hockey connection. Okay, nice.
Yeah. We like the same hockey team, so we just kind of started talking, and then sh I was like, "Yeah, I'm trying to stream. I have like 25 followers, so it's not really anything." So I was like, "I'm gonna get you the affiliate,"
Mm-hmm.
and like that's how I ended up meeting you. I think you were one of my first 50 followers, I
Oh,
believe,
really?
Abbers. Actually, yeah,
How
like I'm
cool.
pretty sure you were one of my first 50 because Viri got me here. She made me meet other people, and that's how I ended up getting to affiliate. But like that was so rough at first because
Yeah.
like when you don't know anyone, how do you put yourself like how do you promote yourself,
Yeah.
like there's just so much streaming you can do in the dark until someone finds you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so that first push was really hard because I didn't know how to do it myself, and
Yeah.
I didn't have to do it myself, which is fantastic, and I'm so forever grateful for having met Viri, you, some other friends named Obst and Reachpat that just ended up getting me to affiliate.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I would have been able to do it alone. And that
Yeah.
would have been extremely tough.
Totally. Veery's such a sweetheart. You were talking about people that just like build community. Veery's one of those that like
Yeah.
I'm so impressed by the way that like she just truly uplifts people in such a beautiful way. Like
Hmm.
it's really lovely
No,
to be a part of that. Yeah.
she's really wonderful. Like I'm so grateful for her.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that she connected the two of us. Like that's just
Yeah.
it's comes for
Yeah,
full
like
circle.
I still don't know anything about WoW, but I come here all the time anyway. I'm just like Abbers
I
is
love
cool. I don't
that.
give a Abbers is cool. I don't give a shit about what's on the stream. And
That's my favorite. People that come and then they're like, I've watched you for hours. I have no idea what WoW is. And I'm like, that's fine. I don't care. You don't need to
they,
know. Like, it doesn't matter.
that's how I want to stream too. It's like you don't have to know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
If you're coming for me, that's cool.
Yeah, totally. Because, like, it's cool. I imagine you feel this way. Like, I'm sure it's cool that people come to watch you just for Pokemon, but it's also cool people that come for
See?
you, right? I don't know. Is it? You tell me.
Well, yes, but Pokemon is probably the worst community for that.
Really? Why
Like
is that?
what like there's a saying in the entire Pokemon community that once you do variety, you're killing your channel.
They say that in hardcore and in WoW too, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
fair. But like Pokemon is like one of the like the amount of people I know that have lost followers because one stream they played something else.
Yeah.
Like they played, and like it's not even something entirely different. I'm not saying you're going from Pokemon to Dark Souls. No,
Yeah.
no, no. They were playing like Zelda or another Switch game. Like,
Yeah.
you're not playing Pokemon. What are you? Are you gonna stream Pokemon again? Oh
Yeah.
my, where's Pokemon? I'm like, oh my god, I am not your content bot. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
for real. I mean, now that I think of it, I do get people every now and again that are like, "What? You're not playing WoW?" Like there was a tournament yesterday that I wasn't playing in, and people are like, "You're streaming, but you're not in the tournament." I'm like, "No." Um, and it's
Yeah,
funny because it's like I have met such amazing people through the hardcore WoW community, and I have met people that will hang out regardless of what I'm playing. And a very,
mhm.
again, very real reality of it is that if I'm not playing hardcore WoW, I do have lower numbers. And that's just how it is. So I think that like, yeah, I think doing variety it's a tricky
It's tough.
mistress, you know?
It's really tough. I
Yeah.
respect the people that can just full do variety.
Mm-hmm.
But like whenever people raid into me, that's what I do. I'm like, I'm a fake variety streamer.
Uh-huh.
Like I'll hook you in with a Pokemon, and then I'm like, I actually don't want to play Pokemon. Fuck
Mm-hmm.
you. I'm playing other something else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's Pokemon for you is WoW for me, for sure, for sure. I think it's very
Yeah,
similar. Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's the comfort page. You go back once in a while. You're like, oh, what do I do?
Exactly.
Well,
Totally.
I'll just
Yeah.
I'll do what I know.
Absolutely. Yep. Yep. T. Miller wants to know, why did you decide to use a VTuber instead of a camera? Both options that are valid and create the different experience for streaming. I'm curious what made you go VTuber more appealing to you.
Well, I think I said that
I think you
at the
did,
first at the
yeah.
start, but I'll say it again. Basically, like VTubing allows me to not take care of myself on a daily basis. Like, it doesn't matter if I haven't shaved today. It doesn't matter if my hair is a mess. It doesn't matter if my hair has not been dyed again. Like, it, nothing matters. It doesn't matter that there's a bunch of uh, cans behind me. It doesn't matter that there's anything. That doesn't matter. My room is a mess.
Yeah,
I can just go on live, stream, and do whatever I want.
totally.
And like that is so freeing because like I could not imagine my life if I had to worry about my background every day.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I'm a very messy person, and like that's mostly due to mental health and disability. And I don't have
Mm-hmm.
to justify myself, but like I'm a very messy person.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I
Same, by
had,
the way. This is
yeah,
this is my light curtain of shame over here. So I feel you.
like if I had to worry about my background and like
Mm-hmm.
that there's nothing sus or weird, I would go nuts. I
Mm-hmm.
would lose my mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Totally.
like especially since the dysphoria is a thing. I could not see my face every day on camera.
Yeah.
Like it can take weeks before I can take a singular selfie in life. So
Mm-hmm.
like seeing my face, like it's already hard enough to listen to my VODs and hear my voice. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
god. If I had to see my face,
Yeah.
I would go crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we talked a little bit about this before we actually went live today. But mentioning dysphoria, like, what is it like having a VTube model when you're feeling dysphoria?
It allows me to live well, not necessarily the fantasy, because I feel like that's. I mean, I feel like it's fine to call it a fantasy with queer people, but that would fuel many other people with the worst. But anyway, it allows me to live the fantasy I want to live in.
Yeah.
Like I can have cat ears. I can have long orange hair without having to bleach my hair and buy dyes. It's oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I can wear the outfits I want
Mm-hmm.
and have the body I want. Well, it's actually not the body I want because it's actually impossible to make my VTuber model be fat, which annoys me a little bit.
Thank you for saying that. It really bothers me that it's so hard to get a fat VTube model. Like, thank you for saying that. Yeah. Anyway,
Like, if
sorry.
I were to commission someone to do it for me, they could make it fat, but with all the free assets out there, it's impossible.
Yeah.
And that's a little upsetting
Mm-hmm.
because I'm fat and like that's not something I'm ashamed of. I love being fat, but like whatever. Okay. But it allows me to wear the outfits I want. That like if I were in a fantasy world, I would probably be a slim looking cat girl. For sure. And I would wear all the skimpy outfits in the world.
Yeah.
And like being a VTuber allows me to do that. And that's really cool.
Yeah. I think for many of us fat folks, and I don't know, correct me if this is not your experience, but I think it's like the reason we would ever not want to be fat is because we don't want to be treated like shit. It's not because I actually don't want to exist in a fat body. You know what I mean? And I don't
There's
think
a lot
people
of
understand that.
And well, to me also, like I think it's a little hard as a fat trans femme person because like where the fuck do I find clothes?
Yeah. Yeah.
I do not possess boobs, okay? So like whenever I try to find a dress that is like extra large, well, they're made extra large in the assumption that you have a chest.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is impossible to find clothes that fit my fucking body.
Yeah. And that contributes to the dysphoria too, I imagine, right?
Yeah. So being a VTuber is like, I want to wear this really cute dress, and my model is going to wear it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Definitely. Yeah. Jay Punzel says, sounds like a part of the market that needs to be serviced. Absolutely.
Honestly, like, I know so many people that talk about the same thing. But like, you know, I mean, there's just a lot of bad in the VTuber community too. But like, so many people I know are just like, I want to be fat. Come on, man.
Yeah.
And it's impossible.
Yeah.
Well, it's not impossible, but it's just incredibly hard and it costs a lot of money. So
yeah, it's very limited. It's not accessible. And I think that like in video game character creation, we still have a long way to go, right? But yeah, talking about VTube models. So T Miller, shout out T Miller who made my Pingtuber. Like anytime T Miller makes art for me, she does a fantastic job. I'm like, please make sure that I'm fat. It's really important to me because I think often, and really though, like often I think graphic designers are like, oh, we'll just kind of take away the double chin and oh, you know, we'll kind of make your boobs bigger so it's in proportion. It's like, no, like I want to like, I want to look like me in cartoon form in some way, right?
yeah.
But we were talking about it. It's like in the VTube community, there's a very small percentage of fat VTubers, of black VTubers, of visibly disabled VTubers, of indigenous, right? And so like overwhelmingly, I think that VTube models tend to be white femme anime, right? Not to call out your VTube model, but also like using a free service for assets, that's what they give you, right?
Yeah.
So
like,
yeah,
like I'm extremely white. I don't go outside, so like it fits. But like,
same.
I wish I could be. I wish I could be fat. You know, I wish my model could represent who I am.
Yeah, totally. So just having diversity, I think, in VTube models, in video game character creation, I think is so huge. It is a part of the market that needs to be serviced. Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's really weird. Like, and like I know black VTubers that don't even have black models because like. Racism is a thing, obviously,
right?
And like when you want to appeal to a larger audience, you want to fit in, so you're gonna be basic, thin, white person. Yeah. It's kind of weird. It's kind of disgusting, but
yeah, it's really fucked up that is a necessity to not only maybe fit in, but also to be safe, right? Like I imagine that safety is a huge component of that. Yeah. Mayhem Maggie says, can I get a potato VTube model? Yes, you can, Mayhem Maggie.
I think that's one of the cool things about VTubing, at least, is that there's so many random ass models out there. Like, I know someone who's an otter. I know someone who's a fucking spider. Like, think about the random ass shit you can. There's someone who has a VTube model of it. And
absolutely.
I think that's really cool.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, I think that's what's so funny about it is like theoretically, you can let your imagine run wild with it, but we kind of put ourselves into these little boxes of what is commercially viable, I think often, you know.
Yeah. Like I miss my Cthulhu model because it was unique, it was really fun. But you know,
Yeah.
Because you don't always want to be a tentacle monster on the internet. Sometimes you want to be cute.
Sure, absolutely. Well, and I think you made a good point with having the name Cthulhu and having a Cthulhu model. People have a very like specific expectation of who you're supposed to
Yeah.
be, and that's not
Yeah.
fair to you, right?
Yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah.
It was a weird time.
Yeah. Leaf, is there anything that has kind of surprised you since you started streaming?
I, I know the answer is yes, but I'm trying to think about an example.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised that I've managed to just find so many people.
Hmm.
Like, I thought, like, whenever I see people that have been streaming for as long as me, or just like, I see a lot of people that struggle to get new followers or build something. And I feel for these people because it's hard, It's
Yeah.
really hard. So whenever I look back at my numbers, I look back at my community, I'm just like, I am doing well. God damn.
Yeah.
And like, I don't mean it in a way that like I look down on people. I'm like, I'm doing better than you. Absolutely not. Like I don't want it to come off that way. It's just like, I'm not doing so bad. I could
Yeah.
be doing better, but I'm not doing so
Absolutely.
bad.
Yeah.
And I think that's so cool. Just like, I would not have met any of my, well, I mean, I have friends in my life that I know because of not streaming,
Hmm.
but like so many people that I call friends today are because I started streaming.
Yeah.
And that's so shocking for me.
That's really cool.
But
Yeah.
it makes me really happy.
Absolutely. Well, and you mentioned, your kind of climb to affiliate was really difficult, but
Yeah.
also in terms of like time to have gotten it within your first few months of streaming is actually really remarkable. So
Honestly, yeah, no, like I think I don't stop to think about that fact too often
yeah,
because I know so many people that are still on the affiliate grind after
absolutely.
months.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, how did I get to 450 in a year?
Yeah.
Like my friend just celebrated his 2 year anniversary yesterday, and
Hmm.
he just got to 1,000. I'm like, I have half of that in a year, so
Yeah.
like I can do the same as you. That's really cool for me.
It is. And there's nothing wrong with like acknowledging your accomplishments and like being
Yeah.
proud of like where you're at. I think you should be proud of where you're at, because it seems like you've got a healthy balance of recognizing, like you mentioned earlier, how much Viri has helped you. So it's like having that balance of like, yes, there are other people that have helped me, and also there's something about me too that is like doing really well.
Yeah. Like, if I was here just because people helped me get numbers,
Hmm.
well, I would still stream to an empty chat,
Yeah,
you know? So
totally.
I managed to build something myself, and that's really cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, and you mentioned earlier this idea of like if I were to ever like make it as a streamer, which I want to get into that more. But the idea was like mostly it would be luck. What
Yeah.
is the I think it takes luck and it also takes skill. What is
Yeah.
that kind of balance, or what does that look like to you? The luck part and the skill part of it.
I don't think I'm particularly skilled in a way because I don't know how anything works. Like, every time I try to, like, I had a sponsor stream the other day, and like it was cool, but I've not figured out how to get paid in like 5 months. I'm like, it's too complicated for me. I don't want to.
Mm.
I mean, it's like $20, so I don't really care.
But that's
But
a
I'm
chunk
like,
of change. That is.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is a chunk to change. Well, I'm like, that's complicated. I don't want to. It's too hard to figure out.
Yeah.
So I think skill wise, it's hard for me just because I don't understand anything. And like, I have to do my taxes, and I'm like, am I supposed to like talk about my Twitch revenue?
Oh my God,
Like,
fucking
how does that
nightmare, man.
how does that work? Can I justify my Switch on my taxes? Like, how does that work? Like,
Hmm.
that is so extremely complicated for me.
It
So
is.
I think a lot of it is luck.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like I just meet the right people at the right time at the right place,
Mm.
and it
Yeah.
is what it is.
Well, I think privilege comes into play, right? In terms of like, being able to like have an accountant do your taxes, or
Oh my
like
god.
being able to
Yes.
have someone else read through contracts for like sponsored streams, right? Like there's a lot of privilege involved in being able to like get through that bureaucratic kind of red
Yeah.
tape.
Like, at best I have a social worker, and I was trying to talk about to her about Twitch, and she was
Mm.
like, I don't know, just how much money did you make? $400 in a year. Don't declare that shit.
Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah,
She was like, "Fuck off.
yeah, yeah.
Don't bother."
Well, I don't
I
know,
was
because
like, "All right."
you're in Canada, right?
Yes, I
I
am.
was gonna say I don't know about in Canada how that works, but in the United
Okay.
States, if it's less than $600, fuck it, doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think you're good. I don't. I
Yeah. So like that's why I don't think skill wise I have a lot going for me. But like I know how to work a computer for the
yeah
most part. Like listen, I was able to do my model myself, so
yeah
surely I can do some things.
yeah. You
Like I
also
know how
know how to
to
create a vibe. That's huge.
also make
Yeah.
my own overlays, so I'm doing
Nice.
something.
That's a
Well,
lot of skill. You should, yeah, give
yeah.
give yourself more credit for sure.
Well, I know where to find the free assets, which
That's skill too, though. I
yeah,
think, like, as a teacher, it's like sometimes it's like it's not about knowing the answer, it's about knowing how to find the answer,
yeah.
you know?
So there's
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. Twitch chat, thank you for your questions. Appreciate you all being here. Uh, let's see, Leaf, what are some pre-stream or post-stream rituals that you have? Like, what do you do to get ready for stream? What do you do to wind down from stream?
Every time before I start streaming, I have to have coffee. I have to have 3 drinks. I have to
Cheers.
have I have to have coffee, I have to have water, and usually it'll be soda, but like I need 3 drinks
Hmm.
because ADHD is weird like that.
Sure.
I need to go to the bathroom, I need to make sure I have had a snack, and I need to close my door at a precise angle. Like I think that's the worst part. It's like because I can't close my door because I have a cat, but I don't want to
Ah.
leave the door open, so I have to close the door at a right angle so that my cat can go through. And then I open every single program in the same order every time. I open my VTube, and then I open the thing with that throws things at me. I open OBS, Spotify, Stream Avatars every time. Like,
Yeah.
like it's not the biggest ritual, but like everything has to be done in order.
Yeah, totally.
As for post stream, the self care does not exist. No, but I will be rating someone, and they're like, "If you need to do any post stream stuff, do it." I'm like, "No, I'll just ADHD my way out of life for a minute."
But maybe that
Like,
is self-care for you, you know?
yeah, no, it is. Like, I'll just like vibe out on. I'll disappear on YouTube, watch a video that came out while I was live, or
Hmm.
just. And that's usually what I do. Sometimes I just get up to make food, but
Yeah.
depends on what time I stream. I think the fact that I don't stream at any regular hours makes it harder to have a consistent post stream self care routine
Sure.
because, like, if I end stream at 2 p.m., I'm not gonna take a shower at 2 p.m.
Sure. Yeah. No, that
You
makes
know, like
sense.
if I head at 4 a.m., maybe I'll go take a shower.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe I won't go make a pizza at 4 a.m., but maybe I'll do it at 2 p.m. You know,
Yeah. It all just kind of depends on where you're at that day. For
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
But pre-stream is always the same.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for your younger streamer self?
Don't surround yourself with people that you just think you have to be friends with to make it.
Hmm.
Like, that's still the worst. Like, I generally valued these people as people, but I was always afraid that if they weren't my friends anymore, I would just kill my career or whatever you want to call whatever I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, don't bother about these people.
Mm-hmm.
Just do your thing. Just take it easy.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
I think that's the biggest advice because that's the thing that still comes back once in a while.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard. I mean, that
And it is.
there's a lot of
Ow.
push and pull there between, like, wanting to grow and wanting to be successful and also like really truly needing to be who you are and honor who you
Yeah,
are. Yeah.
yeah. Like being myself early on would probably mean I have less followers today, but like I don't really care. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, absolutely. And at the same time, it's okay if you care a little bit too. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, yeah. Like it's okay to care.
Yeah.
It's always okay to care, but like
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
don't worry about who you're friends with. Worry about if you want to be friends with them.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Do you have any goals or projects for your stream coming up?
I think the biggest goal I have is reach 500 right now.
Okay.
That's the thing with streaming is that I take it one at a time. I
Absolutely.
take it 100 followers at a time.
Yeah. If you're not
Like,
following Leaf, go do it now. Go help
like
that goal become a reality.
I reached 400 followers last month. I was like, God damn, that's crazy. I never thought I would get there. And now
Yeah.
I'm at 450, and I'm like, how? It
That's
keeps
awesome.
going. I'm like, yeah, I take it 100 at a time, man. Every time it's just so cool.
That's exciting.
So, like, I don't necessarily have goals. Like, I, I think it's hard to set goals for myself in the future because I don't know if it's just my life, but every time I make plans, everything just comes falling apart. So I don't
Mm.
make plans. I don't
Yeah.
make plans. Whatever
Fair.
happens, happens.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to make a stream marathon for my birthday and stream anniversary. I streamed for 3 hours, passed out, my body was in pain. I was like, well, okay, never mind.
Yeah. 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 You got to listen to your body, listen to, what,
Yeah.
what you need at the end of the day. Yeah.
hmm
But I think
So,
500 followers, that's a great goal. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, we'll start that. We'll start there, and then we'll figure it out.
Love it. Well, Leaf, we're gonna go ahead and
Wait.
wind things down here, and wrap things up. As is tradition on the stream, we're gonna end with 10 final questions inspired
Oh
by
my god.
James Lipton. You got this. Just breathe. It's inspired by James Lipton, Bernard Pivot, and CJ the X. Are you ready? Leaf_VT.
My friends all call me underscore VT.
Do
Like,
they
it's not.
really?
My friends all call me Leaf underscore VT.
I love that.
Like, I'm not Leaf. It's underscore VT. It's
That's
part of the
funny.
name. It's really funny. I had to point that out because.
That's great.
And yes, I am ready. I think.
Perfect. Just like quick off the top of your head. Yeah. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Which game or activity do you love to stream the most?
Pokemon.
Which game or activity do you hate to stream the most?
Pokemon.
Uh-huh.
Honestly, yeah, no, it works for both. Pokemon,
Totally.
yeah.
Yep. What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Oh my god. Uh, can we come back?
Sure. What turns you off creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
um, People would just like no morals, no morals whatsoever. Just like you gotta do the content. I don't care what it takes. Like that turns me off so bad. Like
Yeah,
I don't want to no part of that.
sure. Yeah. Which streamer would you like to meet most in real life?
Oh, I can choose just one. I want to meet all my friends. Like that's my answer. All my friends.
Yeah, that's great.
That includes you.
Oh, geez. We'll do it. We'll do it sometime. What's something you'd like to try on stream but never have?
Cooking stream. Like I've been talking about it for so long, but it doesn't come up.
Yeah. What's something you would never want to do on stream?
Oh, that's well. I feel like many things come to my. Play League of Legends. I don't know why, but like play League of Legends
I
because
love that.
I've been playing a lot of Pokemon MOBA, and I'm like, I'll never play League of Legends though.
That's fair. Yeah. I'm going to go back to the one that we skipped earlier. What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
People were just like so themselves that it's comforting.
Yeah.
Like I just love those people. I want to interact with those people. I want to know more about. It just gives me something really cool, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I love it. All right. Why do you go live?
To meet people and build a community and call more people friends.
Mm-hmm. Follow-up question. Why do you really go live?
Oh my god, no! I think it sells out, but also I need some spending money.
Totally.
Like the biggest thing that always comes to me back is like, I need a little spending income, but also I want to meet people, and both go together so well. So
yeah, absolutely. All right, final question. You're
okay.
on your deathbed. You know exactly how much time you have. You have any and all resources you need available to you. Viewer count doesn't matter. Commercial viability doesn't matter. None of that matters. What do you do for your final stream on Earth?
Well, goddamn. Oh my god. What would I do? Oh my god.
Stun locked.
That's such a great question. I don't know. I feel like there's so many things I would want to do. But I have all the resources available.
Yep.
I just want to have a big stream with everyone that I love and know. Like big collab, play Fall Guys or like Jackbox or something.
Yeah.
Just play a big old game for the last time with everyone.
Yeah. Love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I think that, yeah. If I have all the resources available, I think I just want to be with everyone.
That's perfect. I love it. Leaf, thank you for being here. This was so lovely. It was so
Thank you
fun
for
to like
inviting me.
get to know you more and just like, yeah, I'm so glad our little Twitch circles have intertwined. It's really lovely.
Yeah, I'm really happy.
Yeah.
It's been really fun.
Well, I would love to pass on the love to somebody that you know. Is there someone online that you'd like us to raid?
Oh my god.
In the meantime, I'm going to type our raid message here so people can copy paste it and let this person know that Leaf sent us.
I was like, Abbers is live, but that does not work.
Just raid myself.
Oh, the people I usually raid? I mean, okay. I think we'll go see one of my mods who's a gender fluid person. I'll type their name in chat so it's easier to.
And what are their pronouns?
Any of them.
Cool.
They go by any of pronouns. Her name is Mars. Really wonderful person. Helped me get to a number of follower goals. And, I don't know what they're playing. It doesn't matter. I just really like them. They always stream live for so fucking long that it's kind of worrying sometimes, but they're really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's
one of my mods. Just a lovely person.
Yay.
And,
I love that. We're gonna go say hi to one of Leaf's mods. And again, if you're not following Leaf, go do it. Actually, let me spam your stuff one more time. Go follow Leaf on all the things. We got the Twitch, we got the Twitter, we got the TikTok. And then spam Leaf sent us in the chat. We're gonna go say hi to Mars. Thank you all for being here. Really appreciate you. If you or someone you know would be a good guest for Why We Go Live, you can send an email to whywegolive@gmail.com. That's whywegolive@gmail.com. You can follow Why We Go Live on Twitter and Instagram as well. Love you all. Thanks for being here. Please say hi to Mars for us. And I will see you in a few weeks. I'm taking next week off for Mother's Day and then the week off after that for my little brother's birthday. So we'll be back on, I believe it's the 28th. So I'll see y'all real soon, okay? All right, love you, bye. See you, bye. Love you, bye. And we're rating, and we're ending the stream, and it